Zero Mostel was an American actor, comedian, and singer, best known for his portrayal of characters such as Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof and Max Bialystok in Mel Brooks's The Producers. But how does a man whose birth name was Shmuel Yoel end up with the stage name Zero? Well, as a little boy, Shmuel had a hard time in school, and he was thrown out of many yeshivas that he attended. This led his father to utter and often repeat the following devastating words: Shmuel, du bist a garnished und du wirst allemal bleiben a garnished. In English, Shmuel, you are a nobody, and you will always remain a nobody. Can you imagine the savage, searing pain of a child whose own father calls him a nothing and writes him off as someone who will never amount to anything in his life? It was for this reason that Shmuel chose Zero as his stage name and the symbol of his success, as if to say to his father, to the world, and even to himself, look who's a garnished now. Look who's a zero now. In contrast, here's another story of a well-known English singer and actor named Frankie Vaughan. What's less known about Frankie is that he came from a family of Russian Jewish descent, and he derived his stage surname from his grandmother, who would often say to him, Frankie, you are my #1 grandson. The thing is that due to her thick Yiddish accent, it sounded like, you are my #1 grandson, which is why he chose Vaughan as his stage name. I'm reminded of these stories each year when I light the Hanukkah candles. Here's why. According to Jewish tradition, twice a year, we use a candle in a supporting role to a mitzvah. The first is on the eve before Pesach, when we search our homes for any leavened product called chametz, which we are forbidden to eat and even possess throughout the entire duration of Pesach. And the second supporting candle is used on Hanukkah, when we designate a candle called the shamish, or the assistant, to help kindle the rest of the Hanukkah lights. There is a major difference, however, in how we treat these two candles. The first one is destroyed, and it's burned the morning after it's used in the search for chametz. The second candle, however, is quite the celebrity. And in many menorahs, the shamish is actually placed even higher than the Hanukkah candles themselves. Why the distinction between these two candles? But you see, there's a major difference between the function of these candles. The entire purpose of the first is to search for and to expose the chametz, or negativity, in its surroundings and in others, while the entire purpose of the shamish, is to help kindle the light and potential in others and to illuminate its surroundings. And while exposing negativity is sometimes necessary, under certain circumstances it's even a mitzvah. Once completed, we get rid of the source of that exposure and judgment, as we do not want it to become part of our nature, part of our personality and our default settings. Not so our inner shamish, our capacity to see and help actualize the good and hidden light in others and around us. That capacity is the one our tradition puts front and center, elevating it above all else. So as we hold the shamish in our hand this year, let's remember its message, let's heed its call. Let's resolve to use our words to build, not to destroy, to elevate, never to denigrate, and to direct our powers of perception and discernment to seek out and highlight what's good and whole, rather than what's broken and lacking in others and the world around us. And in this way, let us bring the world to perfection, one person and one kind word at a time. Happy Hanukkah.